What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. You guys see the title. We need to talk about Mitch Marner, and I know that we've spoken about him at length on this channel many times, but there's still unanswered questions. What is going to happen? And that's why I love having these conversations with you. So if you're a hockey fan, if you love the Maple Leafs like myself, like this video and subscribe, join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Also, if you want to be more in tune and locked in with this channel, you should subscribe, because I have been posting on my community tab, so that way you guys can interact with these videos. I just did a mock trade video. You guys can go check it out. I'm going to be doing more of those and more of asking you guys questions to be more interactive. My good buddy Hugh has asked for more of those style of videos, so I'm going to do that. He actually made the intro for this channel as well, so thank him in the comments. He's a great guy. But yeah, I want to talk about Mitch Marner, and we need to kind of give both of our opinions here. I want to hear from you guys, so sound off in the comments. But where are the Maple Leafs right now with Mitch? What are they going to do? Is it locked in that they're going to be keeping him? Is he going to be a Maple Leaf by opening night? Are we going to hear any updates? So let's just kind of give a little bit of a debrief. So at the end of the season, I think everybody thought, much like last year, that the Maple Leafs were going to be making a significant move and that it was going to be Mitch Marner. We thought, okay, this is it. The Leafs have to do something here. They're going to trade one of Nylander or Marner, and everybody broke it down to it being Mitch Marner. So we go into the offseason. We know the draft and free agency, everything's going to happen, and there's going to be talk, but nothing happened. Mitch wasn't traded. There wasn't even any trade talk. There wasn't any rumors of him handing in a list of teams that he'd like to go to, because, again, Mitch has a full no-move clause, and Leaf fans, we have to understand that, look, as much as we think that there should be change, if the player who has a no-move clause decides that there won't be change, there isn't going to be any change, and that's the unfortunate thing. And I'm not discrediting Mitch Marner and his play and how good he is, but at the same time, when there's change, you need to do it, and the Leafs could utilize him as a piece to acquire more. You can get a lot more, right? So again, you don't necessarily win a Marner trade, but you start to develop a little bit more depth, and you can utilize that money in pieces in other ways. So if we're going to look at the Maple Leafs and their contract breakdowns and their roster via Puckpedia here, thank God that we've got another tool. The Leafs have around $1 million in cap space, and they actually have a little bit more if you start to look at some guys on here. So it looks like Connor Timmins might be a guy that they keep for depth, but he'll end up with the Marlies, and that gives them just over $2 million, because they're probably going to keep a spare on defense. They'll go ride with 7 guys. If Yanni Hakanpää is actually, good for the season, we don't know yet. He could end up not being officially signed or on LTIR, which would free up, again, $1.5 million, which would give the Leafs over $3 million to work. But you would need to replace another defenseman more than likely, and you still need a forward. And we do know that there's some potential pieces with Nick Robertson not being traded either. The Maple Leafs have said that they want to hold on to him. We know that there's stuff with Connor Dewar going on. So we have to wait for those things. But Mitch Marner would change the landscape of how this team's dollars and cents go, because you're adding another $11 million of cap space to here. So you're probably working with around $13 million. But again, now you're replacing 2 spots on the roster. Even if you get both of those guys, Dewar and Robertson, you're still going to have to replace Mitch Marner. I don't care. Those 2 guys are not replacing Mitch. Robertson or Dewar might not end up staying with this team, or might not even be on the main roster. So are the Maple Leafs really looking to trade Mitch Marner, and did they ever want to? Because I look at a tweet like this, and this is an older one from July 2nd from NHL Watcher, and Chris Johnston on the Chris Johnston show basically talked about how when the Maple Leafs spoke to Jeff Skinner and they were pitching him coming over to to the Maple Leafs, they pitched the idea of playing next to Matthews and Marner, right? So it wasn't just, you can come play with Austin Matthews, and this Maple Leafs team still has Tavares, who still puts 70 to 80 points up. You have William Nylander, who is knocking on the door, of 90-plus points. The guy probably could hit 100 points playing a full season, that he, has the contract signed. He's a little bit more comfortable. He seems like he's finally found that true Nylander game. and he's in his prime, much like Austin Matthews. And, Mitch Marner is also there, but we're pitching players to join the team using Mitch Marner. That's completely against what everybody thought. So, again, I'm going to show you guys these numbers because it is important with the whole situation. If you look at Mitch Marner, like, this guy has put up just an abundance of points. Like, we're talking over a point per game player in almost every single season that he's been a Maple Leaf, right? He's put up seasons where he scored 30 plus goals multiple times, over 60, almost 70 assists in some seasons. That 99-point season was insane. I kind of wish he got to that 100 points. And I'm going to reiterate it again. I love Mitch Marner. I think he's a fantastic hockey player, but much like other people, I'm not trading him just for the sake of change, but I would trade him because I think he gets you more in a trade than any other piece that you have that could be accessible. So what now? And that's the thing that I've been trying to think of. And I wanted to make this video like a week ago, but I sat down and I'm like, let's wait for more to come out. But nothing is coming out. We haven't heard any details. We haven't heard any rumors. We haven't heard any talk about a potential Marner trade. We haven't even heard about a potential extension, because that's something we also have to think about. Will the Maple Leafs just let Mitch Marner walk in free agency and get nothing after this season? Will they be okay with acquiring $20 million in cap space by letting Mitch Marner and John Tavares just walk out the door? Now, I think Tavares probably comes back with the Leafs at a very cheap number. Like, if I'm the Leafs, I'm like, look, dude, like, cut your contract in half at least, or else we're just not interested, which I still think the Leafs are interested at a $5 to $6 million Tavares, but that's a whole different story. Marner is like, this is a player you can't just lose for free. So I'm wondering if the Maple Leafs are still trying to be like, look, Mitch, there's a couple teams here that are still interested in your services. And, we've spoken to them. We think that we have a trade that could make some sense. Would you consider a move? And, I think of LA, I think of Anaheim, even though I don't think he would ever go to the Ducks. But I'm wondering if he just wants to go somewhere where, LA especially, where they're like kind of a team that's a little interesting, a fun place to play, spotlight, everything like that. Maybe he would welcome a move and try something different. We don't know. And the other thing is we don't know if the Maple Leafs even might want to keep him. And Mitch has shown recently, like especially with this charity golf tournament, he didn't really want to talk about the Maple Leafs and the trade and the re-signing. He might be done with this city too. I don't really know. It's still out there. It's still a possibility. But in my heart of hearts, I think the Maple Leafs have kind of been dabbling and talking to teams, but nothing too serious. And the reason why I think that is because there's not a lot of news right now for hockey, not just the Maple Leafs, but any team. Like, there's not a lot of news, especially on the trade front. And, free agency has kind of slowed down significantly. It's been a few weeks now, right? So if these stories are not coming out and we're not hearing about any rumors or talk about Mitch Marner, there's a good chance that these conversations have completely stopped and the Maple Leafs are just ready to bring Mitch back. I just don't like the fact that we went into this offseason being told there's going to be change, and even Trey Living saying we're not done and there's more room to work with. And maybe the Leafs are okay with using this lineup until the trade deadline and trying to acquire a bigger name forward at the deadline to add with, maybe a little bit of cap space. They're trying to make something work. But we've also heard that David Kampf or Calle Jarnkrok might be a guy that gets traded. I think Kampf is probably the guy that should go over Jarnkrok because Jarnkrok's still very usable. Same thing with Kampf, but too expensive. I just don't know. And that's why I'm going to leave it to you guys to comment down below. Have you guys saw or heard anything? Leave it. Sound off in the comments. I want to hear about it. Will the Maple Leafs re-sign or trade Mitch Marner? What are your guys' thoughts? I just kind of wanted to give you guys some details. There's some people that might not know all the details, newer hockey fans, because I do know that there's a lot of people that watch this that say that they're learning hockey. I appreciate you. Go check out a bunch of other channels. There's a lot of good channels out there that provide really good hockey talk, and you should check them out. So if you're new here, like, subscribe, join the squad. Thank you so much for watching Andrew Piluk Hockey. This has been Andrew. I'm having so much fun on this channel. I love talking Leafs. I love talking hockey. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.